So here's a really interesting perspective on the Nintendo Switch 2. Leland, what was the very first video game console you ever got?
A Nintendo Switch?
You've spent most of your time on the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
So then for somebody whose first console was the Nintendo Switch, I want to know what you think of the Nintendo Switch 2. You've seen what the console looks like. Okay, wait. What were your first impressions when you were watching that live stream, seeing all those games being announced?
I was pretty shocked that they removed like the Mario franchise and just added Donkey Kong instead.
Okay, you guys already know how I feel. What would you say was the most disappointing thing about it?
That there was no Super Mario Odyssey 2.
And you know why? Because that was the first game that Leland and I ever beat together. It was a fantastic father-son moment. When the trailer for Donkey Kong Bonanza started, did you think it was Mario Odyssey 2?
No, not at all.
No?
No.
Really? If you had to rate the Nintendo Switch 2 launch lineup on a scale of 1 to 10, which is kind of a reductive thing to do, but for the sake of this conversation, we're gonna do it.
7.5, maybe?
7.5?
Maybe 8.
And what are you most excited about?
Either the new update for Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart World, and also Donkey Kong Bonanza.
We were expecting the very last thing that Nintendo announced to be Super Mario Odyssey 2. You were pretty disappointed at first? Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah.
Does it look a little similar to Super Mario Odyssey 2?
100%.
Yeah. What do you think of how the Switch 2 looks?
It looks way better.
Is there anything about the Nintendo Switch 2 that you would like to have seen done differently?
Just keep the red and blue colors, really.
Yeah.
Just black is not like Nintendo-y. Like red and blue.
I will have you know though, that when I was a kid, Nintendo colors were like spice orange and atomic purple. And even before that, when I was like a real little kid, Nintendo colors were gray. What's really interesting is to hear from the perspective of somebody who their only console has ever been a Nintendo Switch. Okay, so overall, what would you say your level of excitement is for getting the Nintendo Switch 2?
10 out of 10, for sure.
A 10 out of 10? Are you saying that just because you love your Switch so much? Or because it looks that good?
It looks really good.
Yeah? And I think it's easy for like old school gamers like us to be really critical of what we're seeing out of Nintendo. But we also have to remember that not everybody is like that. There's plenty of Lelands out there who have only ever owned a Nintendo Switch. And the idea of a Nintendo Switch 2 is really, really cool. And just an overall more honed experience by Nintendo.